The LA Clout-Chasing for content problem. About to get cold. Come on in here. This shit just popped in my head to talk about. I was halfway through. I was just getting ready to roll this blunt. I was like, I want to talk about this shit real quick. I don't even know how long I'm going to be here, but what's up, everybody? What's up, Taj Dollar, Spirit Wonders, Sinister? Appreciate y'all for joining. We got to have this discussion. I was going to do a mushroom trip tonight, but I ate too late. You don't want to have to do mushrooms on a full stomach, you dig? And I don't like, so I'm going to have to save my mushroom trip for another time. Because, ooh-wee, tomorrow or whenever I do get a chance, this is going down right here. This is going down. But tonight, not tonight. But anyway, what's up, everybody doing? Come on in here. Western Australia. Yes, sir. What's up? Hey, Reggie, I was just about to hit you up, too. Like, the question was going to be if I was going to hit you up to smoke or if I was going to be smoking from here and doing this shit. I was literally about to hit you about 15 minutes ago, but then I was like, nah, I got to talk about this tonight. What's up, T Dynamite? Oh, yeah, the picture of Miles Davis. Oh, yeah. Got that. I told you I got that when I was 19. Oh, you see, drove by, saw garage light? Yeah. I was just about to hit you. Probably saw that barbecue pit out there, too. I was on that grill earlier, getting it in. But I want to talk about this tonight. What's up, Mark Anthony? I want to talk about this tonight. Yeah. Oh, yeah, food and go. Yeah, I was on that grill earlier getting it in. My back, told you I got in that car accident, nigga. My back is starting to get stiff now. It was fine all week. It was fine at first, but nigga. Like, my dad funny. Like when it happened. Yeah, T Dynamite. I was out in the valley on your side of town. Some asshole pulled into the carpool lane when I was going down the 405 in the carpool lane with me, Isha, and Rocky. We chilling. We got clear traffic. The 405 right at the 101, that shit get goddamn. You know how the 405 the 101 gets. This motherfucker is in the fast lane, decides that he don't want to wait for the traffic to open back up in the fast lane, and he jumps into the carpool lane where I am, and pow! And my dad funny. My dad, anytime something like that happen, my dad don't even tell me what to do, but he always asks a question. He was like, you gonna see my pops was like, you gonna consult the three wise men? Pops was like, you gonna, cause like, I was gonna, get a dude a chance. I hit him up and told him what the estimate was, whatever. My dad was like, you gonna consult the three wise men? My dad, anytime some shit like that happen, or anything, my dad always say, you should talk to the three wise men. Do you know what my dad said the three wise men are? My dad calls lawyers the three wise men. And, and he be like, the three wise men, the law offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. Like that's some old black man shit right there. The law offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. The three wise men. That's my dad. I remember my dad was saying shit ever since I was a kid. Yeah, man, you might have to go see the three wise men. The law offices of Dewey, Cheatham, and Howe. You know that's some black man shit, T Dynamite. I'm Courtney G. Yeah. Oh, look. Yeah, look they did, nigga. Look, I'll make sure y'all don't see my goddamn. But look. Motherfuckers got me. You see this? Niggas got me. Nigga. Man, they got the hybrid, man. Niggas got the touring hybrid. Ugh. Yeah. I was in the carpool. That's how you know that nigga done. That motherfucker broke double lines to hit my shit. Nigga, how the fuck you jump over double lines to hit me? Yeah, at least like, I'm thankful because that could have been really bad. That could have been really bad. You know, I'm very grateful that I'm fine. You know, D Griff, I don't have to wear a neck brace. I'm very thankful because that could have been real bad. Like anytime I'm a defensive driver, so anytime, and this is my first. I'm 43. First time I've ever been in a car accident with me driving. And so, like, I don't. This shit is all foreign to me on what to do. I've been paying for insurance my whole goddamn life and never had to use it. And so they yeah, that motherfucker. But I'm a defensive driver, so I was driving cool. You know what I mean? I was driving cool. And so I saw that the fast lane was slowing down, the freeway is slowing down because it always slows down at the 101. So even though the carpool lane had no traffic and it was free flowing, I still slow down. You know, I always slow down because it's always a fool. You know, it's always a fool. So and so you know, I got into that and I slowed down. So me slowing down when dude hopped over, the impact wasn't as great as it could have been had I been going full speed. I just, you know, whenever the other lane slow down, I slow down too, just in case. And I'm glad because the just in case happened. You know, the just in case happened, but thank God I'd already slowed down because you know, just naturally, that's how I do. Yeah, so, but anyway, let me put this on subscribers only mode because it be dickheads coming in here. Because subscribers only, then we about to get started. Subscribers, there we go, cool. Chat filter, all messages, cool. There we go. All right, so let's go. So I gotta talk about this. LA is disappointing me right now. I was watching something And I was already feeling this way, and it was probably the one time I'll ever agree with DJ Academics or I'm gonna call him JD Academics because he a backwards DJ. We'll call him JD Academics. He was talking about the content, these LA content niggas. I saw it on the Joe Budden clips page. I be on Twitter. They be clipping up stuff up, and he said it, but I was already thinking it because. And again, the more I watch Whack 100, the more I actually like the guy. And this probably, y'all know I've said some things before. I never say anything bad about Whack, because I don't know the man say anything bad about him. I don't like his overall, like, what be happening. But I'm going to tell you this, what I do like about the guy. He's very honest and straightforward about his intentions. The issue is, it's a lot of fools that aren't quite as smart as he is. Whack 100 is very, very intelligent how he moves. I just sat back in the last few months, just been watching him since the summer and seeing how he moves. He's an extremely intelligent guy on how he moves, how he talks, what he says, when he says it, who he says it to. Very intelligent guy, But it's a bunch of dumbasses around this dude. And he, from my point of view, what's up, Lori Brown? From my point of view, when I listen to these LA podcasters talk, they are talking about content. Whack 100 is the main one I've been hearing over the years use that word content so much. And since then, a lot of podcasters, especially out of LA, been using the word content. Like, what are you doing this for? Content. And for years, I've been hearing, Whack 100 when he says, I don't go on Clubhouse. I'm not a fan of what he does, but I'm just telling you right now, I'm not a fan of. I'm not saying I support or any of that. What I am saying is that's a very smart dude that knows how to put his shit out there. But with that being said, it's a legion of dumbasses behind him. And when you watch these different podcasts, or how should I say it? But how most of these LA niggas say it, podcasts. Y'all ever notice they don't say podcasts? They say podcasts. We be on these podcasts, and for content. Man, this is content. And the podcast is content. I'm gonna say for today's show, excuse my English, I'm gonna be saying podcasts all day like these LA niggas be doing. And I hope some of them hear me because I think, especially when I listen to some of them talk, I'm not gonna mention any particular podcasts. But a lot of these dudes, I think, can be a lot smarter they can talk about a lot more things than what they talking about. But these niggas are talking all kind of street business for content. Whenever they're asked, why am I doing what I'm doing? It's for content. It's content. Oh, no, that's just content. We didn't really do this stuff in the streets. It was content. And since Big U went down, you seen a lot of these cats going around. Yeah, no, it's just content. That's all. We don't really be in the streets. It's just content. Content. And there was just 2 weeks ago a big old sweep we all saw of a lot of people into federal custody over what? Content. And I'm asking myself, brothers, how important is content? You niggas are getting swept up by these folks. And they showing you through this Big U lawsuit that they're using content to help do it. You see the way the same way they're coming after rap in Atlanta with the YSL chart and stuff, the same way they're going after a lot of rap, hip hop, they're going after quote unquote content. And I thought, you're right, Kenneth, very right. And I'm not even like, and I like some of these podcasts. I can't stop saying podcasts. But I like watching some of these every now and again, because I not so much, because they be talking about music, they be talking about other things, like when there was like a lot of their responses to the Drake Kendrick beats, like these cats. Yeah, you're right. Back on Fig, Community, I like those podcasts, and when they talk about, and those cats have very interesting points of views on a lot of things. So I'm not here to berate and bash. I'm coming. My whole point of view is coming in love. I got love for my city, but at the same time, love comes from, part of love is telling the truth. And I'm not gonna be like them. A lot of them old bum ass New Yorkers talking about well, my city perfect and everybody else is wrong. I ain't gonna do that bum ass shit. No disrespect to the New Yorkers that don't do that, but the ones who do, you know who you are. Now, but LA does a lot of corny shit, and this is corny. And we should be able to tell the truth about things that we love and stuff. And so it's like you got all these cats. You're right, Zero Dark 30. Using your gang ties for content is weird. On one hand, you're putting the reason why the content is so captivating is because you're putting the worst stereotypes of us out there as the face of what we do. And we just had this big old Rico thing go down. We just had this big old Rico thing, and what happens after this Rico thing go down? These niggas are right back on Adam 22 for what? Content. There was a clip, and this is the clip that made me have about talking to you guys tonight about. That dude, Loose Cannon, has been calling in to his podcast with his wife and then to Adam 22 from federal prison. Brick Baby calling from federal prison. The addiction to content has gotten so bad that these guys are calling into podcasts from federal prison. Really? There was a clip that on Joe Budden's clips, I don't know if it's actually Joe Budden's actual page, but it's like the Twitter page where the fan club where they clip up stuff. They clipped up a part because again, I refuse to watch Adam 22, but I saw that clip where they put up a part where Loose Cannon was called into Adam 22. I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, but it was sometime this past week while he's locked up, saying that he doesn't want Big U to go to jail. He want to settle it on the streets. I can't even get mad at Adam 22 for facilitate. Why shouldn't Adam 22, like, I don't fuck with that Adam 22 show, but why shouldn't he facilitate it if these niggas are going to be that goddamn dumb? You got Big U on the as he's turning himself in, doing videos talking about, well, look at what Whack 100 did, and look at what this guy did, and look at what that guy on the internet did. And then you got Loose Cannon literally while in custody saying that he wants to handle it on the streets. And then, cause my thing is shit. Let Adam 22 white ass facilitate all this. But you got black content creators doing the same thing. And you know, you brothers ain't gonna get the same treatment as Adam 22. You brothers ain't gonna get the same treatment as Vlad if them folks decide to come down on you too for facilitating this content. You got these cats all. My bad. Drop my damn phone. This is bad. He said, "Let's loose on the spectrum." I don't know, man. I don't wanna, but you know, you see what I see. But all I know, they're talking. He be like, "Sweetie," nigga, that shit was funny. I ain't gonna lie. When I first heard that nigga calling Big U Sugar Plum and all that shit had me dying laughing. But you can't be so addicted to the content that you're putting yourself and others in federal custody. There's a way to talk about it without incriminating yourself on certain things. Like you said, like Nina Boy, yeah, Nick Cuzzo. When I watch Nina Boy's channel, he reports on what he's seen. I've seen that. Like, there's a way to report on what you've seen, you know, or what you heard, or report on what somebody else is reporting on. That's mostly what Nina Boy does. He reports on what somebody else is reporting on. There's a way to get it done. But these guys are going on to Adam 22, JD Vlad, and literally telling firsthand stories. And then now they're trying to flip and say that was just content. But let me, and here's the thing, like, G-Man, from what I hear, people be getting checked out here too. It's a lot of people out here, like, a lot of those guys that are talking, they're not they don't live south of the 10, put it like that. They don't live in LA, and they don't live south of the 10. I still live south of the 10, so I watch what the fuck I talk about. I still live south of the 10, so I watch what the fuck I say. And on top of that, for me, it's not even necessarily about watching what I say, because I don't even entertain the bullshit, honestly. It could be some street business going on in my own neighborhood. I'll get the gist of the story, you know, okay, don't go down to that liquor store to the cool down. But outside of that, don't tell me shit. Even the people that I know, I thank God I have a very good relationship with the people who I do know that are out there. And they know that Dewan is a square. Don't even fucking tell me. Because I ain't going to do nothing. I ain't going to say nothing. So why even fucking tell me? I ain't going to do nothing. I ain't going to say nothing. So I don't want to know. Leave me out of it. Leave me out of it. But to my brothers that are in it, I don't want to see y'all go down like this. It's corny. This is a message to my city, LA. Look, man, that shit's corny. Like, studio gangster rap was corny. I'll never call NWA Straight Outta Compton wasn't a corny album. Straight Outta Compton was truly an analysis of the temperament of what those guys saw on the streets, and it was true street reporting with a little young shit talking. Boys in the Hood it was a 16-year-old Ice Cube writing a shit talking song. That was just shit talk. It's a lot of blues music that has shit talk to it. Shit talk is part of our music, but Straight Outta Compton wasn't gangster. That was the for real thing. It was message music. It was a message as to what we were seeing. America's Most Wanted, King T, his shit. West Coast Cam. These Cube. These were messengers. But as it got into the mid-90s, the Chronic ushered in studio gangsterism because, I know Dre was never a gangster. Dre's a motherfucking genius as music producer. A motherfucking genius. Not a gangster. Snoop is a genius. He has street affiliations, but not to the level he portrayed. And then came Tupac. And with Tupac is what I see all the time. Those be the worst ones. The people who aren't from here, but they come here and they want to be down. It's like anything else. The most dangerous nigga to be around is the one that wants to be down. Most of the gangsters I know is still. You won't fuck with them. Ain't nothing gonna happen. But it's the people who move here. They get impressed by what they see and they want to be down. That was Tupac. And post Tupac really is just studio gangsterism, studio gangsterism. And I can't get, and it's just music. Like big picture, that's just what music is. When you look at like country western, the early days of country western was white, upper north, New England whites, New York white people that were getting music written and composed from the South, from black churches and black people in the South, and then white people from New York being flown down to Atlanta to be your early days of country artists. They weren't country, they weren't Southern, but they put on an act. They wore overalls, and they basically cosplayed white hicks. Your earliest days of country music literally started with New York white people imitating Southern hicks. They were studio country. So acting has been in music since the beginning of recorded music. The difference is when you act like a gangster, where are the two places a gangster is most likely to end up? Whether it be Al Capone, whether it be any of them. A gangster is most likely to end up dead or in jail. So when you cosplaying and acting gangster, you're acting out a death style, not a lifestyle. You dig? And that's what these dudes are doing. I want these cats to really understand this, because gangster shouldn't define you. Gangster is a street is a situation that you was born into. You can't start a career when you're 9. So yeah, you're gonna be born into whatever environment your parents or caretakers live in. So one, you didn't choose it; it chose you. Two, to my brothers out there from LA, a lot of y'all smarter than this. Y'all better than that. No, gangster rap was not initially made to glamorize crime. It started glamorizing crime when the record industry took over the genre in the mid '90s. When Death Row Records hit, that's when they started kind of glamorizing it. When Death Row hit, but before Death Row, it was message. It wasn't created to glamorize crime. It was created to point out the crime that exists in where we live and how to get around it. Go back to Death Certificate. All the crime that Cube talked about, he always talked about that crime landing you dead or in jail. It was always a warning about crime, committing to a lifestyle of crime. It was always a warning. It was a way, or it would, the song Bird in the Hand by Cube. Sometimes people gotta commit to crime because there's no other way. And but if you listen to songs like that, Cube was trying to say, you know, talk about the quagmire that they're in. What about diapers, bottle, and Similac? Do I gotta sell me a whole lot of crack for decent shelter and clothes on my back, or do I wait for Bush? But that's when Bush was still in office. Do I wait for Bush or Jesse Jackson and Operation Push? If you ask me, the whole thing needs a dust. Is that a Massingale go ahead with the sale in the neighborhood for corner house bitches, Little Joe and Todd Bridges, or anybody that he know. So I got me a bird better known as a kilo. Is saying that Jesse Jackson's shit is bullshit. The government needs to be cleaned out. People are being put in this situation. If you listen to that song by Ice Cube, he's saying, look, this is the situation young black men are being put in. And this is why they have to make those decisions. But it shouldn't be this way. Dealing with a country that's intentionally, and Cube, the whole thing of that album, America's Most Wanted, he's telling you the United States is intentionally putting young black men in these positions. But then when it got to Death Row Records, that shit started becoming ignorant. And Death Row Records was very ignorant. It was an ignorant ass Motown. They had all the talent of Motown, but them niggas was ignorant. Ignorant. Like I be listening to those Suge Knight. Like it's so bad in LA, nigga. We got Suge Knight has a whole motherfucking second career as a goddamn podcaster from prison, from state prison. And I like some Suge Knight be dropping wisdom. And make sure y'all go to intellectualpower.net. Go to intellectualpower.net. Uh, get your mind right. For me, get your mind sharp. Get your peace pads, and go to the health event, the reproductive health event, Saturday, May 3rd in Compton, California. The link to all that is in the description bar right now. Check it out. But going back to Death Row Records, Death Suge be dropping some wisdom, but we gotta tell the truth, man. Suge was ignorant as fuck. He terrorized a lot of people. He got a lot of people their money, but we all know the stories here in LA. Him walking in a club, him or somebody from Death Row touching on some black man's girl. He go to defend this girl, Suge Knight and 15 people stomping one nigga out. They was going around beating up black people. They was going around beating up other black people. You heard, I was too young. I was in middle school, high school during that time. I was in middle school and high school during the prime of Death Row. But I got big sister, I got cousins, I got friends that are friends that have older brothers and sisters who were out during that time. We heard the stories long before these internet stories, like these shit that the Reggie White be talking about and Suge and everybody be interviewing on Art of Dialogue. 'Cause Art of Dialogue love that Death Row stuff, and he has great interviews. But like them niggas was ignorant. Now Cube wasn't on Death Row, Jerome. No, Snoop wasn't pushing the message until later. Dog Father and on was when he started pushing the message. Nate Dogg, one of my favorite songs from the Dog Pound is, I was listening to this song today when I was on my barbecue grill. I don't like to dream about getting paid. I don't like to dream about getting paid. I don't like to dream about getting paid. It was a part when Dazza Club said, he said, he was stacking them. Damn, he had about at least 2 G's, and he was clocking it with so much ease. He said, you need to quit that faggot ass job, is what he said. Basically, that song was talking about quitting your job and selling drugs. And I love that song. That's one, nigga, anybody tell me they took that sample from Lionel Richie and flipped it. I don't like to dream about getting paid. I love that song. But I could be honest about something that I love. As much as I love that song was literally saying quit your job and go sell drugs. Literally. But that song snap. Hell yeah, The Mob. That song slap. I love that song. But that song ain't talking about shit. Death Row was ignorant. Now, did they have some positivity here and there? Yes. Ghetto Boy on the Chronic. It was some positive stuff here and there. But where Suge Knight went wrong was he tried to run his label like the streets, and he was going around. If you were in LA at that time, they would just beat niggas up. They would go in, they would literally go into the party, start shit. Now, Jerome Drinks, I paid attention to all the lyrics. Death Row was like, no. Plus, like I said, Cube wasn't Death Row. Cube wasn't ignorant. King T wasn't ignorant. NWA wasn't ignorant. Strata Compton was a very profound album. Eazy-E, I give him a pass because at least that was his life. Eazy-E, that was really Eazy-E was that guy. Long before he got that, he was that guy that started rapping. Later on, he was a money guy. Dre wasn't a gangster. Dre was a master musician. Snoop Dogg is a character. These dudes, Death Row really normalized studio gangsterism. That's just a fact. And I love Death Row Records. But it's a fact. These niggas were not gangsters. They were profound artists on a label being run by gangsters, by by non-gangsters. Suge was a football player, a security guard. These weren't street dudes. These are dudes that grew up in the streets. It's a big difference. A lot of us grew up in the streets because we had to, because that's just the world, the streets. Not that you grew up in the streets, that was just the world that you were in. It was all around you. That's the difference between somebody who's a street dude, that nigga that's really on the block, really out there doing it. That wasn't them niggas. And but I'm not fucking with Jerome Jenkins. I seen comments that nigga made on other shows. I ain't gonna. He know what I'm talking about. That nigga was 100% accurate. I was like, ooh, that nigga read that nigga completely right. I'm not fucking with you, Jerome Jenkins. But even Snoop called out murder was a case. Go watch Snoop's interview when what's his name? When Arian Foster had that podcast back in the day. Go look up Snoop Dogg's interview with Arian Foster. Snoop talks about how he learned that rapping about that gangster shit wasn't it. He said, I wrote a song called Murder Was a Case, and I ended up on trial for murder. And Snoop talks about his evolution and getting out of that content. Snoop's content evolved. He didn't stay there. And by the time Snoop did Rhythm and Gangster, to me is still one of the greatest albums ever. The Last Meal is my favorite Snoop album. Blue Carpet Treatment. Snoop evolved on out of it. And more so, his gangster became a character. Snoop really brought in the humanity to the gangster. You know? G-Man said, is it true that Dr. Dre didn't make a lot of them beats? Look, Dr. Dre gets, for some reason, people just got a bug in their ass about him when it comes to that, his beats. Dr. Dre does what every music producer does. Dr. Dre was no different than Quincy Jones. Dr. Dre made all of his beats in the 80s and stuff like that when he was coming up hustling. When you get to a certain place in music, yes, when a new generation is coming under you, you don't make the beat from scratch. You take the beat that they made and you turn it into music. And that's what Dre did. Dr. Dre will take, because a beat can't make a hit. That beat has to turn into a music production. And that's what Dr. Dre does. And that's what all of the great music producers do. Pharrell didn't make that beat. Kanye didn't make that beat. Just Blaze didn't make that beat. They make some stuff. But most of it, but when you get to a certain level, you hear a beat and you turn it into music. But then a lot of you people that be coming like the judge, those are, oh, he didn't make the beat. Nigga, do you know how much more to music it is than a beat? The beat is just the skeleton. The beat is just a skeleton. A song needs herbs and spices. It needs dressing. It needs meat. It needs body. It needs a lot. The beat is just what you start with. So when people say, "Oh, Dre didn't make that beat," they act like they're throwing a jab at Dre. It's not a jab. Because the beat that you heard that person made would never have been a hit. It would have never been made a hit. You get people who collaborate and you add this, you put it this there, you put a let's layer this, let's stack these drums, let's put a bell right here, let's open up this part. No, take that part out, loop this, and let's add a crash, let's take this sample out, but play this sample live. And that's what a producer is. That's what music is. That's just music. That's just how music is. No, if you think gangster rap and drill rap are the same, I don't. One of those two genres or both you ain't listening to. Gangster rap is a lot of talking shit. Drill rap is rapping about shit that you did, killing people and shit. Them niggas actually kill people. Man. Gangster rap didn't do that. Gangster rap was just like watching fucking Menace to Society movies, nigga. Them motherfuckers were no gangsters that did Menace to Society. It was an act. You know? Drill ain't no goddamn act. Them niggas actually killed them people. Yeah, Antoine Films, yeah. The artist, Michael Jackson came with the scraps and Quincy did the producer. Dre's on that level. Dre make your shit a song. You go ahead and do your little beat. And Dre make it and turn that shit into a song. But anyway, going back to what I was saying about this content shit, about how LA is taking an L right now. The same thing is happening in the podcast world now, in the YouTube world, where people are making whole podcasts, as they say. They're making whole podcasts out of street beef and street business. And y'all know I'm pro-black and I like to help the next black man out. And I got, and I like to stand up for black folks. But how can you stand up for black folks that's going on YouTube talking about a whole bunch of degenerate shit that's making us look bad as a people? Going and getting federal charges for the shit that they talking about. Embarrassing. And I also got to say this. I think it's a good example that these people, that somebody do be made an example out of and get locked up off this shit, especially if you, those, not if, especially those who actually did commit the crimes. I ain't talking about people that, I don't want to see nobody go to jail for not doing something they didn't do, for doing something they didn't do. But I ain't one of these. I'm not from the street. Like I said, I was in the environment, but I'm not street. Look, obey the motherfucking law, nigga. Or at least if you're gonna break the law, my grandmama said, do it young, do it big, get the fuck out. You don't, nigga, you in your 40s, you shouldn't still need to, look, it's reasonable talking about teenagers and people in their early 20s. You still doing shit like they're talking about Big U extorting people in his 50s? No, nigga, you just dusty. If you still extorting people and stealing from people in your 40s, you just dusty. You just dusty. You dusty. You're not. Come on, 40s. Come on, bruh. 40s. You in your 40s. At that point, with this internet we got, I know I got this one brother who designed my initial website, one of my homeboys. He was a street nigga, very hood, and certified hood. Like, when I say certified, I was around somebody else who I knew was certified, and them niggas knew each other. I was like, you would know this nigga. God damn, nigga. But that dude went on YouTube, learned how to do IT, and this motherfucker is a millionaire now. He got a wife, 3 kids. His wife don't work. He got a nice ass house up there in Monrovia, nigga. And this nigga was hood. I mean, did all the dirt and some mud on top. This nigga used YouTube and learned this shit, then went to the local school, took a couple of courses that he couldn't get all the way, and flipped it into his own business. And that same street mindset he had when he was flipping birds, he took that shit to IT and started flipping IT. He flipped that shit. That's what I was like, yeah, nah, I don't, Matter of fact, I know another guy who spent Fed time. I didn't even know this dude spent Fed time. He from Jersey. I didn't even know he's because when you meet him, he's kind of corny. Like, this nigga, you was in the Feds? He was like, yeah, I was doing some shit. But this dude, literally, what he does now, he establishes call centers. He's a black dude, too. And he hires black people if he can, but if not, he said what he does, he'll just hire a whole bunch of cheap Indians to fill his call center. This is a black dude that owns a call center, and he hires cheap labor from India. And he sets up contracts with corporations to be their call center. But this was another dude that spent like 4 years in the Feds. So a lot of this shit, somebody said Cali's out of touch with reality. Hey, Charles James, New York has a Tekashi 6ix9ine problem, brother. What the fuck is you talking about? New York got a Diddy problem. New York got niggas. Again, I'm over here talking about my own city, nigga. Don't know. Didn't I tell you earlier? Sorry, some dumbass New Yorkers that can't look at their own goddamn city. We're perfect because we're from the best. We're the Bronx. Shut up, nigga. New York got New York got a fucking 50 Cent being the biggest diva online. This nigga is the most catty chick that you ever gonna find. Nigga, New York got you got Cam going at it with like 15 niggas at once. Just catty. These niggas in their 50s and just so prissy and catty. Fuck out of here, nigga. I'm over here talking Cali business, trying to clean our shit up. Go clean up your goddamn Diddy issues in New York, nigga. Fuck out my face. Get the fuck out this chat. Go clean up New York. Go deal with Tekashi 6ix9ine and all that shit y'all got. Go deal with Cardi B and all that. Go deal with Fat Joe and all that lying and shit. Go deal with Jay-Z and all his lawsuits that's coming up still. Y'all got your own problems to deal with in New York. Shut up, nigga. Y'all got a plethora of problems. Y'all handle y'all shit. Dude, your prissy ass 50-year-old rappers that's going around. Who? He took a picture with Rick Ross. Oh God. Fuck out of here. You're not my friend anymore, little Meech, because your daddy took a picture with Rick Ross. Oh God. Should have been loyal. You should have been loyal. Fuck out of here. All that whole shit going on over there. Shut the fuck up. Yeah, Crazy Legs, Math Hoffa. Y'all got a Bussy Rhymes issue, nigga. Y'all got a lot of problems in New York to deal with. I encourage people with a platform in New York for you niggas to handle your New York issues, nigga. All lot of whole shit going on, so shut up. So back to our California house cleaning. You LA niggas doing this shit for content, y'all playing right into these people's hands. Let me give you some wisdom my grandmama gave me. Yeah, this nigga got an Africa band bottom problem from New York, nigga. You got a child molester running the streets, allegedly. You got an alleged child molester running around. Why don't you? He coming in here on LA business. Shut the fuck up. You got a motherfucking, your king of rap is known for busting boy booty, nigga. You got some, New York got its own goddamn issues to deal with. Spending all your time judging the South. That ain't real hip hop. That's the South. Yeah, the South ain't got no motherfucking kings of the South that been accused of touching boys the last 30 years either, nigga. Y'all turning y'all nose up at the Midwest, nigga. The Midwest ain't got no Tekashi 6ix9ine issues. They ain't got no, ain't none of that going on over there. Y'all got your own shit. It's always, chat room, did I not come? Y'all think I see chat. Y'all think I just be joking around. I'm like, I do be joking, but I literally singled out New York. I said, we gonna do some LA house cleaning. We ain't gonna be like that New York shit. Ain't nobody from the South came in here talking shit. Ain't nobody from the Midwest came in here talking shit. Ain't nobody from Philly been talking shit. Where y'all from, chat room? Ain't nobody from no other parts of the country been talking shit. Y'all allowing me to do some house cleaning for because I do talk a lot of shit. I will call out Atlanta when necessary. I'll call out other places when necessary. But y'all see me doing some house cleaning in my own city. And y'all been very respectful. Everybody from across Houston in the house, the whole chat's been very respectful, allowing me to say what I gotta say about my city. And y'all been very respectful. It would be the one New York nigga that come in here crashing out. See, New York, yeah, LA needs to, because New York got, shut the fuck up. You niggas masturbate to the Empire State Building. Oh, look, it looks good, don't it? Fuck out of here. Got a lot of Texas in the building. Yeah, Pete Rock said 90% of hip hop is Jamaican, but 100% of his samples are Black American. Right. Yeah. So back to what we talking about. So the word content is gonna get a lot of y'all locked up. And I don't want to see any innocent brothers locked up because you found a way to flip a bag on the internet. And you probably didn't do anything. And you're probably looking at yourself. You're probably looking at yourself like, I ain't doing anything wrong. I'm just here, brother. And I'm not singling any one podcast out, but I don't want any innocent brothers. And then some of you brothers do have a past. but it is your past. Man, keep that shit in your past, man. A lot of you niggas got some interesting takes. Man, do reactions on music. Do reactions on TV. Do it's a lot of things you brothers could be talking about, man. And I mean this. Again, I'm not here to judge. I'm just hoping that maybe I can unlock another help, play a part in something I'm saying tonight. I'm hoping that maybe that can help unlock just another part of your brain. You know, unlock a different perspective for you. That's what I'm hoping for. That's my purpose for tonight. Man, enough people got locked up, man. If you got a past, keep that in the past, and it's new frontiers, man. Keep your past in the past. But at the same time, if you really did commit those crimes and you really did those crimes, then I'm going to cheer twice when the police pick your ass up. I'm not pro-police, but I'm not against the police either. They very necessary, especially in a place like California, to where they don't want you using your own guns and shit. See, some of y'all live in states where y'all got open carry, to where if you shoot, y'all got castle doctrines and all that shit, and stand your ground laws. We ain't got that here in California. In California, nigga, if you use your gun, you better kill that motherfucker. Because if you don't, nigga, even if you don't go to jail, you are going to be liable for their anything medical with them the rest of their fucking life. So we gotta have some goddamn police. Shit. A lot of you niggas is ignorant. I thank God for the police. You you never gonna hear me say don't call the police. Shit. Niggas get too goddamn ignorant. You better call the goddamn police. 911. It ain't my fault these niggas chose to act stupid. Don't act stupid around me. 911. See, something happened around me. It ain't snitching if I tell, because I ain't in that world. Crime gets committed around me, I'm telling. Because I ain't no fucking criminal. I ain't taking from nobody. Because the way I see it, what about the victim? What about the person getting stolen from? What about the person getting manipulated out of something because you too goddamn dusty? Why another black man gotta lose so you can win? What's up, Brooke? Keep your blog going, Brooke. But why should the rest of us have to be under siege because a few niggas want to act ignorant? I got this one dude that I don't think he lives down near me, but I think he be visiting. And this motherfucker got tats all over the place, and like when I walk past him, you just know this nigga ain't shit. I remember about 8 or 9 years ago, the police came. No, he did. No, he did. I don't know if he still is, but he did live by me. It's probably like 2015. Police came, and I didn't see who they took out, but I heard later on from one of my neighbors. I was like, what happened? They're like, no, they took that one guy. You know, the one that be having the tattoo? I was like, they took him? I was like, good. That nigga was shit. That nigga, every time I saw that motherfucker, he was a menace. I feel safe. I'm glad that nigga locked up. You ain't gonna hear me sit around and be like, nah, fuck that. And hit that like button. Come on, y'all. Where are the squares in the building? Where the squares at? I was glad they locked his ass up. I'm like, I don't know what he did, but whatever they accuse him of, I know that nigga did it. I know that nigga did it. No, give that nigga time to sit down and rehabilitate his life. Shit. I feel safe, nigga. Matter of fact, what about his homeboy, the one that be wearing the cornrows? Did he get locked up too? I hope so. Put that nigga in jail. That nigga Fresco Lie said DeJuan White. Hey, I agree with Charleston White on a lot of things. It just, I don't like the way, it's a lot of things I don't agree with him on too. It just said, he's the brother that I don't respect what he does on the same reason why I don't respect a lot of ways what Candace Owens does. Like, you want to use black people you want to use the worst amongst us as a punchline. I don't mind people being critical of black people, but don't use the worst amongst us as who represents us. They're just an element. But when you act like they're the people who represent us, that's where I have a problem. And I also have a problem when you dress like the rapper. When you get to acting like the rappers, when you get to talking all kind of hot shit, then yeah. But I do agree with snitching. But at the same time, actually not snitching, because I wasn't never in the car with nobody that did nothing like that. And you hand somebody the gun and they do the shooting and that's something different. I'm not gonna be in the car with somebody that needs a gun to go where they gotta go at the age of 15. I remember when I was 15, 16 at one point. I had my homeboys that I was cool with. Yeah, I walk. Hey, DeJuan, you want to ride to school? I got you. Nah. Go ahead. I'll get on the bus. I knew who not to go to the Fox Hills Mall with. Press number one if you remember 90s Fox Hills Mall. Nigga, that was the club. Nigga, I knew who not to go to the Fox Hills Mall with. Yeah. No. Y'all go ahead. I'll walk. I'll catch this. I'll catch the 115. I'm good. Nigga, that's what I'm gonna do, nigga. I'll catch the 115. So yeah, the 108, the 115 is the Brea. The 108 Slauson, yeah. The 108 is the Slauson bus. Show you last time I called the bus. I was like, yeah. But and so I've always stayed away from it. But at the same time, a lot of people who I know that was forced into it, they ain't the ones on the internet talking. Yeah, the 115 is Manchester. That's what was one thing when I would leave Westchester to go to the Fox Hills Mall. We took that 115 to the 6, the Culver City bus. The 115 to the Sepulveda 6, down to the Fox Hills Mall. But yeah, I'm not getting in your car, Ray. I will walk. Yeah, the 6 Culver City bus, yep. Or sometimes if you want to save money, instead of getting on a 115 in front of Westchester, walk down to Lincoln and spend 75 cents on the Santa Monica bus to 3 and have that take you to Sepulveda. And that was no 60 cents for the bus and the transfer. Or if you stayed on the 115, it was $1.30 for the bus and the transfer. We talk about 90s prices. It was $1.30, something like that, $1.15 for the ride and the transfer if you got on the 115 in front of school. Or you just walk down to the Sepulveda bus, to the Santa Monica bus, and spend 60 cents. Yeah, G man, that's part I don't respect. You tell the guy to shoot the dude, but you go to his parole hearings to make sure he don't get out. That's sucker shit right there to me. It's like, yeah. But and then come on the internet and talk about the worst amongst us. I don't get down with that. But me, I've never been in the lifestyle, so yeah. I have never intentionally harmed anybody or committed any crime intentionally. I haven't done that, so. You know, I don't wanna play that game, you know. So you got these guys going around. So back to the content thing, man. The talking all that hood shit for content, man. It ain't cool, man, because I just don't want to. I don't want to see somebody innocent, into the innocent. I don't, But again, if you really did do what you're talking about, nigga, I hope the statute of limitations, whatever, don't ever come to an end. If you really did that and you harmed somebody else or whatever you're talking about, and another black person, another human being that was minding their own goddamn business, got harmed because you was ignorant, then yeah, no. Lock that nigga up. Lock him up. Throw away the motherfucking key. You going to jail. You are going to jail. And keep his ass in there, too, for being so goddamn stupid. Matter of fact, Judge, give him double time for running here to the goddamn internet, making us all look bad because he wanted to clout chase for some motherfucking content. Lock him up. Lock him up. Bye. I don't like it. I don't want. One reason why I got major love for black folks, and I can keep my love and keep going with being so positive and towards us, is because once I identify an ignorant ass nigga, I go to the other side of the room. And once I identify, okay, this nigga ignorant, I immediately separate myself from ignorant ass niggas. And I've always been this way. Like, when I was in the 2000s, when I was in my 20s, I didn't hang out on Crenshaw. There was too many ignorant ass niggas on Crenshaw. Because I saw in the 90s, I lived down the street. I lived off of Crenshaw and Rodeo. So in the 90s, me and my friends, when we were on our bikes, we would ride our bikes down to Crenshaw, and we would see like the lowriders and all that stuff. But you also saw a bunch of ignorant ass shit. A whole bunch of ignorant ass nigga shit. You saw that too. And you heard the stories. People leaving Crenshaw, then dipping off and accidentally going down Victoria, accidentally going down Brynhurst. And the stories about Brynhurst alone, nigga. Even to this day, I don't go down Brynhurst. Like, and Brynhurst has been cleaned up a lot. Till this day, I don't go down Brynhurst. 10th Ave, the Aves. I don't go, like, no, I'm not dipping. I'm not going down no fucking Brynhurst. I'm not going down Hyde Park. Yeah, Reggie, nigga shit at the Shell. I remember my dad on Crenshaw, like, we'd always, when I was a kid, Sundays I'd be in my grandmama's house a lot. And she lived over off of, like, Slauson and Main Street. And we lived off Crenshaw and Rodeo. So my dad, pick us up and we'd be going home. My dad used to get his gas. He would have to get it on the way to my grandmama's house because on the way back, after 4 o'clock, man, that Shell is gonna be nothing but lowriders in that motherfucker. And let's not talk about Brighthurst only cool north of Slauson. Let's not talk about that Shell on Crenshaw and Slauson. My homegirl got shot in front of right there at a red light going east on Slauson, waiting at a red light at Crenshaw because some ignorant ass niggas got into a shootout at that goddamn Shell. Man, I used to drive past that shit. I'm back in the 90s, and hell, all the way really up until like 2010. Really up until like then. You go down that, you go past that Shell, 2012. Probably 2012. That Shell on Crenshaw and Slauson, it was always some ignorant nigga shit going on. That's on any day of the week. I never got gas at that Shell. I got my gas at La Brea and Slauson. That La Brea and Slauson and Shell is where you get your gas. You don't get your fucking gas at that Arco, nigga, or that Shell, because there's always some ignorant nigga shit. So when I was in my 20s, hanging out, nigga, I didn't hang out on no fucking Crenshaw. And I lived a fucking half mile from there. Hell nah. It was too many ignorant ass niggas. My homeboy Nate, that I went to elementary school with, he always had nice cars and stuff. And it's funny, his dad and my dad used to run the streets together. His dad and my dad used to, was hustlers back in the 70s under Tootie Reese. Not gangsters, hustlers. And if you saw Hidden Colors 4, they talked about Tootie Reese. But his dad was like really, my dad was just, his dad was like really in it. And my father raised a square in me. And Nate wasn't in the streets like that, but he always had nice cars. Nice cars. He wasn't in the streets like that. He had a Chevy Tahoe. And this is back when them 24s was just getting popular, 2000, 2001. And my man Nate was in front of the liquor bank, from what I heard, on Stalker, just before Crenshaw. And they blew his brains out because he had this custom candy-colored Tahoe on 24s. No, he had, no. I think he had 26s. He had like 26s on here is what I heard. This one, the 26s were like, he had a nice candy-colored Tahoe, and he cut the wheel and had 26s on them. Hell yeah, super nigga sheets go down at the motherfucking liquor bank. Nigga, what? They had a good ass sandwich shop at the back of the liquor bank, but I never went because I had to be around all them ignorant ass niggas. Telling you, when I lived over there, I only went west. I didn't go east. I went to the Fox Hills Mall, not the Baldwin Hills Mall. Nigga, I never went to that Ralph's on Crenshaw and Slauson. or back then it was Boys Market, nigga, then Rouse. I went to Ladera. I didn't go to Inglewood Rouse on Plymouth and La Brea. Nigga, I went to Ladera Rouse or go to Culver City, the Lucky's in Culver City on Jefferson, nigga. I wasn't going to none of that shit. In my 20s, in the 2000s especially, I didn't hang out on Crenshaw. I hung out on Sunset. We used to be on Sunset 2002 when I had my F-150 on 24s. We was on Sunset, not on Crenshaw. Oh, damn. Hit my thumb with that. Woo! Yeah, so he said you weren't ever allowed to go to liquor back there. Yeah, Ladera. I go to Ladera. Well, man, I didn't. Because the truth is, niggas was it was fun and everything, but it was ignorant. And I found most of the niggas that hung out on Crenshaw, them niggas lived in Pasadena, them niggas lived in Riverside, and they would come down, and them niggas lived in the valley, and y'all would come down to Crenshaw like it was a fucking zoo. We're going to the hood. And y'all be the main niggas getting chased up out of there, hollering at the wrong nigga's girl, getting your shit jacked. Hey, stop that. Jerry, stop that. Ignorance don't, oh, you said ruins. I thought you said runs. Yeah, ignorance does ruin our people. I agree with that. My bad, my bad. I read that wrong at first. And for me, you know where I got most of my hood information from? Like most LA niggas, I got my shit from church. Cause at church, it's niggas from all kind of different hoods. Youth service, nigga, youth service used to be cracking. My church had a lot of people in it, so youth service would be like 50 deep. And a quarter of them niggas was hood. Niggas did not want to be there, but they was coming because their mamas was making them. Because y'all know the most ghettoest ass mamas are the main ones in church. The most ghetto moms be the main ones in church. Pray for my son. So we be at church on Sunday, and niggas telling all the stories about what happened on Saturday and Friday. I told y'all I was at, nigga, yes, we knew everything. Like Sunday morning, hey man, you heard them shot? Oh yeah, what happened? Man, this nigga's da-da-da-da went da-da-da-da and da-da-da-da. Nigga, by the time we was done with Wednesday night Bible study, we knew everything that went on in the hood. Nigga, I'm not lying. And if you went to church, you know what I'm talking about. Because all them ghetto ass mamas made their kids go to church. Niggas was terrorists. And then every now and again they bring they hood, the big brother, the one that you never see. He will come. Nigga. And so like I remember when MS-13 was just really popping off because MS-13 was in the same area as my church. My church had was over off Adams, and it was this gang called Gear Gang, and Gear was over there, and then it was next to them was like the MS-13s was in that same little pocket too. I remember them early days of the MS-13, in the early '90s, MS-13s. I remember them days. Niggas would come to church and it'd be certain people that was in, they be like, hey man, you heard that on Wednesday? Yeah, that was that nigga, that was dun. I remember it was I forgot the day. It was some girl that got shot on the bus stop, and it was a big old thing here in LA, late 90s. And they had her picture everywhere. Like, the community really came around, like, we got to find the person that killed this person. Man, I find out like 5 years later, because I remember leaving my church, people was like, man, there was one of those shootings that got to everybody. There was a girl that went to Crenshaw High. I forgot the name of the girl. Man, I found out a couple years later, it was a dude that went to church. The mom, the lady who was always there, it was her oldest son. The one son she could never get to come to church. Her younger kids would come to church, but the oldest one, he wouldn't come. I kind of we found out like a few years later, her oldest kid's the one that did it. We was like, Sister Gladys, Sister, I ain't gonna say her real name. I don't even remember her real name. What was her name? Like Sister Glodine's kid? Yeah, that he was one that did that. We was all like, because he got caught. We was like, God damn, y'all old it. No, Geary Gang is south of Baldwin Hills. South and west. I'm sorry, north. I said south. Dyslexia, north of Baldwin Hills. Merlin Santana, where he got murdered, was right around the corner from where I grew up. Yeah, Sister Full Blossom. Nigga, so we be in church getting the skinny on what happened during youth service. Zoe Christian Fellowship. Adams and Dunsmuir. Now that church it's still open, but it moved. It's not the same. It's still open, but it's moved. Now that place is called the Zoe Lofts. They knocked the church down, gentrified. They gentrified all the Adams. They knocked the church down. Now something called the Zoe Lofts. Where you see the Zoe Lofts, used to be a church called Zoe Christian Fellowship, and that's where I went. Yeah. But so I said all that to say, like, growing up in church like that, I would hear the stories and I would see the stories. I was really traumatized. Like, a lot of the shootings started to really slow down right after the riot. The riot slowed things down, and then it picked back up. And then, like, my last year of high school, my parents moved up into Baldwin Hills. So Baldwin Hills is only a goddamn 2 miles from where I grew up, but a completely different world. once my parents moved up into Baldwin Hills, it was just like, yeah, it wasn't. You didn't even hear a gun. You didn't even hear a gunshot, nigga. It was a different world by the time I got, in my senior year in high school. But before that, when I was on the flat part at Crenshaw District, and then also Slauson and Main Street, you still saw it. You were still in it. But yeah, Tier, I got the skinny. But when I was I was traumatized, like, a lot, because it was a lot, like, that scene on Boys in the Hood, where, like, Nia Long, where she's doing her homework and she's trying to get her work done and she hears a shooting in the background. It's a reason why Boys in the Hood is, like, probably one of my favorite movies. That was my childhood. Like, I wasn't corny like Trey. I wasn't a pretty boy cornball like Trey or nothing like that. I wasn't gonna go around punching no fucking air. I hated that fucking scene. That was the worst scene in that goddamn movie was when Trey was punching the air. Like, nigga, sit your ass down. Fuck you punching the air for, nigga. Stop crying like a bitch. But outside of that scene, that was a very accurate movie. It was the only accurate movie. Colors wasn't accurate. Menace to Society was putting 2 on 10. 10 on 2, I mean. South Central maybe is a little bit, but Boys in the Hood was the most accurate. But that was some real shit. That was some real shit. You be sitting there doing your homework. No, Nia Long was in Friday. I mean, she was in Boys in the Hood. She was Trey's girlfriend. Nia Long went to my high school, Westchester. Older than me. Yeah, Cube is the GOAT. But when she was sitting there just doing her homework and you heard like a Tech 9, or that was like in the early 90s. Sometimes once a week. Guaranteed at least twice a month. You'd be sitting there minding your business. And for a while, I would say once or twice a week. Like around the time, see, part of my memory of a Michael Jackson's Dangerous album, I remember when the album came out. As a kid, Michael Jackson, I remember going down to the Warehouse Music on La Brea and Rodeo to get it. And I remember our first time peeling that tape out, and my sister, we bought the tape and the CD. The tape for the car, the CD for the house. We opened up that CD packaging, we put that shit in, and I remember right as Remember the Time was coming on. That's part of my memory, like that's etched in my memory. And I remember around that time, it was just a lot of that shit, man. I remember when Death Certificate dropped and we would hear all that shit, man. It was just, ugh. Like, do I remember that store was Big Ben? Yeah, nigga. Clark's Drugs was over there too. Across the street, it turned to goddamn Save-On, but at first it was Clark's, nigga. And the same in church. When I was at church, nigga, we be sitting on our church. My church is on Adams. It'd be Wednesday night Bible study. We be in youth service. And when Adam got the apple off the tree, like, God damn, we all fall on the ground, duck. Everybody good? Okay, blessed the Lord. The Lord. Yeah, you get back to service. That was youth service when we was kids. It didn't so much happen on Sunday morning. Niggas wasn't shooting like necessarily Sunday 8 o'clock service, but Wednesday night Bible study, oh yeah, you was about to hear that. You said you and your drunk neighbor came up to the house spraying one night and it hit your house. Bullets. Yeah, we have bullets in our stucco. Yeah, man. So for me, in a lot of ways, I don't like, a lot of people were harmed, and I don't think that's nothing to be sitting around talking about, oh, this is content. That shit was traumatizing for a lot of people, man. And all that gangster shit ain't cool. It ain't to be talking about right now, because I grew up in an environment where them niggas actually did what they was talking about. They wasn't talking about, they was doing this shit. And I played basketball at Rancho Cienega Park, and I remember being at Rancho Cienega on Saturdays. We inside the gym hooping, and some more ignorant ass niggas outside getting in and stuff, and they having to shut us inside Especially not necessarily on Saturday when we be hooping, like Tuesday night. We had practice on Tuesday nights, and I remember being in practice. I remember being in practice a few times and us having to shut the doors and be locked in the gym because somebody got shot, or they may not have gotten shot, but there was a shooting at the park. This was regular, you know. The Dorsey pool. And that trauma is not content. And if you're gonna make it content and you were a part of it, I'm rooting for the feds. Yeah. If you're gonna make it content and you were someone who actually did this stuff to innocent people, then yeah. Nigga, hopefully the feds won, you zero, nigga. Yes. Go. Bye. You that fucking dumb. One, to hurt them people like that. Two, talk about it on the internet. Yeah. Bye. Bye. But if you weren't that, that's cool too, man. Whoever the fuck you are is who you need to be. It's okay to say you weren't that, or it's okay to say that you were traumatized by your environment and you did a few things in reaction to it, but you now on to some new things. That's fine. But to glorify that kind of stuff, the person you harmed is somebody's nephew, somebody's auntie. You know, the dude put a revolver on you at a Normandy Rec Center. Yeah, man. Yeah, old LA was a vibe. But it's hard though because on top of all the street stuff, you still got all these street podcasts going on. I told you I'm gonna use the word podcasts the whole time I'm talking tonight. You had all that street stuff going on, you know, but now I still gotta drive through these streets and I'm seeing all this gentrification. Well, it was the greatest year in LA for me. I can't say that it was the greatest year. My whole childhood was wonderful. I fucking love my childhood. I was on the phone with my daddy before. Got on here with y'all. My dad called me right before I went live. How you back feeling since your accident? Yeah, I'm good, Pops. Just checking. My mom called me earlier. My mom and my dad called to check on me today. You all right? You need us to bring you anything? I fucking had a lovely childhood. I'm not about to see that's why, all that shit happened, that traumas that happen around you, you can't let that shit define you, man. The 2000s was great. I would say the greatest years was up until when even now it was great. But all through my party years, yeah, Inglewood is all but done. And that hurts to drive through Inglewood and see that. Because I used to have a friend that lived on Beach, and lived on another one that lived on Eucalyptus. And I remember walking up down Eucalyptus in '98, where Highland Elementary is. And I remember the Dunes. Euclid is where the Dunes is. My mom used to have a carpool that she used to carpool to work with that lived in the Dunes. And he's always tell, like, Craig, his dude's name his name was Craig. His carpool, my mom's carpool. And he lived in the Dunes. He was an engineer. And I remember being in the car some days, him talking about his car getting broken into again for the third time. His apartment, the Dunes wasn't shit. And then you get to see Issa Rae does some weird ass TV show. I don't care what nobody said. That show that Issa Rae did, I don't even remember of it. Them is not LA people. That show Issa Rae did, what was that show called? That was like Issa Rae was somebody who, even though she lived there, she lived on the East Coast. She lived in that. Nothing about that show represented real LA folks. At least not south of the 10 LA folks. All them niggas in that show, Insecure, all them niggas was cornballs. Like, everybody in that show would be somebody that all my friends laughed out the fucking room. Get this cornball ass nigga away from me. I remember watching Insecure, like, it got the LA backdrop, but these are the corny people. These don't represent the people from over here. That show was a terrible representation of Inglewood and South Central. Terrible. Terrible. Corny. Just like Snowfall. Snowfall, that nigga, that nigga went from LA playing this shit. That shit was corny. But this, you're right, Ken, but those were transplants. That show was terrible. It's a terrible representation of South Central LA and Inglewood. Terrible. But I remember when that show Insecure came out, I was like, they're making this show to make you eat. This show isn't written for us in LA. Cause my wife used to watch it at first. She watched it the first season, first 2 seasons. This show wasn't written for us. This show was written for white people in the Midwest. Insecure was written for non-black people from the Midwest, from the East, from other places who planned on moving to LA to make, but those people they can't afford to live in Culver City or those kind of places. So the only place they was gonna move to was Inglewood or something like that. And so Insecure made, with all the sight lines that they use, they're just making it palatable for people that were gonna be coming to gentrify the area. That's what that show is about. Let's show you a TV show of these cornballs so you feel comfortable gentrifying that area. Because these corny ass niggas is just, they're nobody to worry about, you know? That's what I felt about Insecure. But Insecure, I mean, but now Inglewood, Gardena, Hawthorne, I gotta watch all these podcasts from these podcast niggas that don't know how to pronounce podcasts. I gotta listen to all these niggas that pronounce podcasts tell all these stories, but I keep seeing nothing but white people, Asians, Indians, and all these others coming into them streets at you talking about like niggas don't even live there no more. They be like, no, you can't come to the block. Nigga, you can't come to the block either. Because it's somebody last name, it's a white woman named Susan that if you come to the block, she's going to call the LAPD on your black ass and they're going to actually come this time. That's the difference. When we called the police on your little ignorant ass, they took their time coming. When we called the police on y'all ignorant acting ass niggas, they came when they wanted to. Now that Susan is living on the block, them police is gonna be there within 15 seconds. So I gotta go on the internet and watch these niggas. These niggas is in federal custody talking about some, nah, we just pull up on the block. Yeah, no. Patrick Fitzsimmons now lives on the block. Yeah. Aunt, yeah. Aunt, Auntie Maxine's house, yeah, that's now owned by somebody named John Herskowitz, nigga. And John Herskowitz is going to call the motherfucking LAPD on your black ass, and you will see the 77th Street Division descend and ascend, descend on the block faster than rain in a rainforest, nigga. All that, yeah, such and such won't pull up to the block. Yeah, 'cause you will see the Southwest Division roll like you've never seen the Southwest Division roll on your monkey ass. So stop it. Stop it, man. Like, cats are very, very, very talented. Man, use your talent and ability to speak for something else, man. Please. Keep your podcast, keep the name, keep everything, keep the setup, keep all that. Just because of them same podcasts, when that whole Kendrick and Drake beef started, they was having some funny. That's how I found some of them. They was having some funny ass reactions. It was like, oh, these niggas is funny. Something happened on the news. They got something to do. They had interesting perspectives on a lot of things. But y'all talking about charges and shit for content. So God, if I hear these niggas say the word content one more time, stop it. Stop the content shit, man. Like, so the people, and if that's, y'all got sets of skills that y'all can flip into a lot of different ways to make money, man. Y'all can make a lot of money doing a lot of different things. Don't get caught up on some bullshit for content. Fuck the content. And my next show, I don't know. I was gonna do one next month, but I got to push that back. Probably June. But yeah, all that content talk, when I gotta walk through the neighborhood and see a bunch of Karens and Ambers and all through the place walking their goddamn dog anytime they want. Stop it. And if somebody's calling in from prison, nigga, just walk out. Like, don't get caught up, man. You call me from prison. Denied. If you wanted to holler at me, you wouldn't have done whatever the fuck you did to get locked up in that motherfucker. That's I'm about to get up out of here. Gotta take Rocky for his late night walk. Rocky gotta take a shit. He ain't took a shit all day. Since about 11 this morning. I gotta take Rocky to take a shit, so I'm about to get up out of here. But don't get caught up, people. And don't glorify street shit, man. Don't glorify that. The people who I know from the streets is not a glorified thing. They was just doing what they had to do to get to where they had to get to. and something that they're not proud of too. Go watch my interview I did with for everybody in here. I did an interview with Justin Hunt that I released earlier today. Watch that here on the channel. We had a good talk on music and the state of hip hop. Watch my interview with Justin Hunt on the state of hip hop. Good information. You said, is Musk gone in May? I don't know if he'll be gone in May. I still think, I know Musk could be gone. I have a feeling Musk could be gone this year. I don't know about hopefully he gone in May, but that showdown between Donald Trump and Musk is coming. Don't worry, it's going to happen. It's going to happen. Two egomaniacs that are dusty. Elon Musk and Donald Trump, them niggas, those talk about some dusty ass thugs. Them is two dusty criminals too. And I don't want to hear none of you niggas talking about something. Do you support the Democrats? No, the Democrats are dusty criminals also. I talk about whoever's in office. Not the Democrats are losers. They didn't win, so fuck them. They ain't worth talking about. They lost. The Republicans are in office, and we have a very ghetto regime. It's a very ghetto, dusty ass administration that we have. Elon Musk can have all them kids that he can't take, that he's not taking care of because he's too busy tweeting to take care of his goddamn kids. He can't change diapers with all them goddamn tweets he putting up. So he's raising a bunch of terrorists. And Donald Trump is a fucking thug. But it takes a thug to clean shit up. And Donald Trump is cleaning some shit up. He's making some shit worse. Ain't none of them motherfuckers on my side. Democrat nor Republican. They all gangsters against us for the benefit of the corporations. Don't take no sides. But like Ward said, the world is a ghetto. Oh, shit. The world is a ghetto. Yeah, I'm waiting for the fallout too. That fallout's coming. Musk and Trump are two thugs that have a convenient partnership right now, a partnership of convenience. At some point, that convenience is gonna wear out. All right, I'm about to go walk Rocky little ass. I'll see y'all later.